We believe that videos, images, words, and sounds have the absolute power to inform, inspire, and entertain. We are united under the virtues of safety and knowledge. We are a training community of learners and teachers who encourage and energize each other to achieve greatness. We are pilots, videographers, photographers, freelancers, business owners, enthusiasts, experts, and apprentices. We are creators. We are the Drone U.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another awesome episode of Ask Drone U. Happy Saturday, happy weekend, and happy day, Rob.
Happy day indeed, Paul. And welcome everybody to a special edition of Ask Drone U. We're more than thrilled to be here on Saturday, hanging with you guys.
Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
one night only.
One morning only, unless someone's listening at night.
That is true.
Anyways, thank you for being with us, and we are very, very thankful that you'd spend a few minutes of your day, especially if it's a Saturday, with us. Appreciate that.
Definitely, but we've got some really special, cool content for you today. Rob, I hear you went out and tested the new splash drone.
I did. I threw it in the water, and it floated.
It floated?
It floated.
I hear that this is one of the first waterproof drones, and yes, today we are talking about the Urban Drones Splash Drone. Now, Rob, did you know that this drone was actually on Kickstarter? That's how they got their way into the drone market.
I remember seeing that, and they got actually a really great response.
Huge response.
And so it sounds like they're starting to get some momentum and really starting to take off. And what they sent us and what you actually tested, not me, seems like you had some good things to say about it.
You know, I did take it with me to Lake Pleasant, Arizona, where some of my Canadian friends...
Let's be real. You used the drone as an excuse to go to the lake.
Did John
Not
tell
that
you that?
there's anything wrong with that.
Did John tell you that?
John didn't have to tell me that.
Okay, so maybe that's kind of
He did need
true.
to tell me about... Never mind.
Oh.
John, our producer, has news.
Oh, what's that?
He doesn't really like to tell people.
Are you just upset that you were the last person to find out in the office?
Yes.
John's having a baby. Woo! Anyway, we're going to need this splash drone to actually carry the baby in like a stork.
That's right.
It's actually totally possible. This is one thing I actually love about this drone. I did take it to the lake this weekend. We truly tested whether it was waterproof or not. How fast could it fly? How reliable was it? Can she really shoot underwater and come up out of the water? There are so many things that we wanted to know. And yes, it was totally an excuse to go to the lake. Are you surprised by that?
No, and I think that's great. I mean, any time you can have a good excuse to go do something that you like to do, that's actually nice planning, nice work.
Definitely. And
Good
special thanks actually to the Hudsons. I got to stay and surf Force One. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The big
special boat.
The big black RV. It says Centurion on the side of it.
Oh,
and you know what it says on the side of it now, Rob?
Come
Come on, take a guess.
Drone U.
It does. Look at that.
Drone U.
Look at that. There's our sticker.
That is sweet. It's a
Boom.
little small, but nonetheless.
Oh, man. You know what?
Like if I took this piece of paper and went.
Hey,
But
it's on there.
We need
It's
to
on
put
there.
about 100 of those on there.
I'm working on it.
That said, it's very nice of them to let us put our dot on there.
Definitely. Yes. Thank you to the Hudsons. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And special thanks to Urban Drones for actually sending us this drone. So overall, I would grade the Splash drone to actually be a really good drone. It's actually waterproof too.
It actually worked. It did what it's advertised to do.
It is, and what I love about this is it does come as a full ready-to-fly setup. This is the auto version or package. It does have autonomous features. It does have follow me. It does have the circle me mode. And frankly, it was not that difficult to set up. Had a little bit of trouble with the FPV, but overall, everything really went together quite perfectly. The remote... I mean, there is so much that you can do with this drone. Not only does this drone have a waterproof gimbal, like you can see here, holds a GoPro Hero 4 Black, Hero 4 Silver, also holds GoPro 3s. And you can truly get waterproof footage like this, which is really cool, Rob, because you can actually see people swimming under the boat.
It is. It's actually really cool. I mean, you literally land, and then so you're watching underwater. Right,
Yes.
I'm stating the obvious now, but that's one of the intentions of it is to do that.
That is true, but it can also do other things as well. There's a little servo that has a hook on here, so if you want to drop payloads and packages, you can do that as well.
We are looking forward to testing that out.
We are. What are we thinking about doing, Rob?
Nothing.
No, really, I don't want to be the last one to find out.
Well, you'll find out.
Are you going to be dropping
Let's
something?
just say it can drop things that might be able to hold water in them.
Like water balloons?
Maybe. It's an idea. It's a thought. Right? Unsuspecting
I think
Drone U employees.
I think Drone U may be having a few more videos coming out with this thing.
That's right. No, it is really cool. And so to be specific, they have to have, they being if someone was going to purchase one of these, it is the auto version, right, that has that mechanism.
That is correct, yes. This version does have it. Now, this version does run for, I believe, $15.99, but you are getting the proprietary remote. You're getting the latching system so you can drop payloads. You're also getting the gimbal, the waterproof gimbal. You're getting multiple sets of props, 2 batteries. The batteries are 4S 5200 milliamp hour batteries. I actually did not have the time to time my flights because something was going on the boat, and having 5 people on a boat just to test a couple drones was a different experience than going surfing.
Right.
But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. But the auto version, this thing is really actually quite capable. We had a blast surfing with it. The beauty is if your battery does run out, guess what? It's going to fall into the water.
And that's okay.
And that's fine.
I seem to remember another incident in which a white drone that you might have been flying fell into the water. If only we would have had one of these, Paul. Wouldn't that have been nice?
If only, Rob. I wonder what video you're talking about,
I don't know,
Rob.
maybe we'll play it for our listeners, watchers.
Oh, you gotta love Caro. Oh,
Shoot.
no.
Anyways, in all seriousness, so it would have been nice, literally, had we had this drone.
Literally.
I don't know that you would have been using it for that purpose because you were doing some videography. Maybe you would have been.
I think I would have been using it. The cool thing about this too, if you do have the waterproof gimbal, is you can really get some unique shots. Not only can you float, but I realize you can actually actuate the motors and move the drone around in the water. So I moved along the boat. I kind of moved around the boat. So this thing doesn't really swim, but you can move the direction of the floating, I guess is what you would say, which was actually really cool. So you can get really unique shots coming up out of the water to reveal something, which I've got some out of the water and reveals to cacti that you'll be seeing here very shortly. We took it with some scuba divers and kind of flew around them, and it was cool to be able to see them, which was neat. I although didn't record that, so I recorded it with the Inspire, but not with this bad boy.
So, question for you: is it intended to sort of land gently, or can you dunk it and have some fun with it?
Well, so Urban Drones, when we talked, they said, don't land it too hard, in the water, because the props could, literally come off. If you hit the water, it reverses the direction of the prop. The prop can come off. But I was like, well, I just want to try that just to see, what really happens. And I had Chad flying it, Chad Hudson, Surf Force One. Had him flying it. I was flying the Inspire, and I said, you know what, dude, dunk it. And you can hear me in the video saying dunk it, just let her drop. And he did, and he turned off the motors. They turned right back on, and he was able to elevate out of the water, and it was quite beautiful, to be honest.
Yeah, because that's something I didn't know. As I look at these motors, Paul, you can obviously see into the mechanism, and I was thinking that these shouldn't get wet, but you're saying that it's okay that these are waterproof as well.
Yeah, so brushless motors in themselves are actually waterproof. The thing that cannot get wet is obviously the battery or the ESCs or anything in the flight controller, including the compass, the IMU module.
All of which is protected within the casing.
Yeah, so there's a waterproof top that kind of goes right here that you can see, kind of goes around. And it's hard to get the battery in and out of there, but I will say, like, everything is balanced really well. She flies quite nicely. She held a position well. It's not the fastest drone, though. And, and that's one thing that people should know is that this is not, a super nimble drone by any means. I'm hoping to spice up the sensitivity settings here soon and do some more with it. But overall, it's not going to be super, super fast.
Right.
But you can definitely film water sports. That's definitely for sure.
So what would you say their main goals with this drone are? Some water sports, like you say, some search and rescue over water?
Well, yeah, I think search and rescue is actually huge. Now, if you remember, this drone comes with a mechanism that can drop items, but they also have a life preserver mechanism where you have an FPV camera and you'll have the feed on your remote. And you can actually drop a life preserver remotely, which I think is a really cool thing. If you were,
cool.
You remember
lifeguards everywhere.
Lifeguards along the beach, and in the Southwest when a lot of kids get caught up in the arroyos when it starts to rain, which is actually a big deal. This could help them out, and it could help out a lot of other people at national parks.
Right.
There are so many uses for this drone as far as search and rescue goes. So, I mean...
Yeah, and I don't know what their original intent was, but if that's it, then it's they've delivered.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, think about this. If you were to mount a thermal, I can't talk. If you were to mount a thermal camera on this, Robert, and you were to have that deployable device as well, you could drop a light or a beacon so that the thermal camera could find the person, drop a beacon, and then, you could rescue the person out with a helicopter or something. I think there are actually a lot of really good uses for this drone. So hashtag drones for good, Rob.
Absolutely. And I actually really dig the color. It comes in white as well, so
yeah,
you can get it in white.
I dig the color as well, but a lot of people may be seeing this and say, oh, that looks like about the size of a Phantom. But as you'll see here, it's actually substantially bigger than the Phantom.
It's a pretty beefy drone, actually.
Yeah, and it uses 12-inch carbon fiber props, so it definitely flies. And it was a little bit nerve-wracking, too, to fly around, the crew on the boat, but... Other than that, it was a blast. Never had an issue. Got some killer footage. Again, this also has many practical uses for search and rescue. Flight time, again, I didn't record it. It felt, it's a really ambiguous thing to say, but it felt like about 12 minutes. Mm-hmm. So I never had the battery die on me, and I never, had that problem. But if say someone owns a boat and they don't really know how to fly, but they want killer footage of their family, this is a great drone for that. And I realized that because one of my friends, they have about 6 kids, and he's just learning now to use a Phantom, and he goes, one of my biggest fears is that I'm going to lose the remote signal, or the drone is going to try and fly home when it has a battery warning. But with this, you would never have to worry about that, because even if it were to happen, it would go back to home and land in the water, and it would be fine. So I think this drone is for you if, you have a family on a boat, you're a lifeguard, you work in a national park or a state park, you work around water sports and you need a life preserver. I mean, the options for this are endless, because your ability to carry a payload and then drop the payload remotely. I mean, this is the first drone that has that built into the whole package,
right,
which is really cool, and why I absolutely love that drone, to be honest with you. So if you were to ask me, Paul, would I buy this drone and recommend it to my friends? Yes, I would.
Awesome. And I will say, and as you guys know that have been listening for a while, that's not easy to come by from Paul, that kind of a recommendation. I mean, I don't mean anything by that other than the truth. So a little bit about the specs. What size battery are they using? It's
a 4S 5200 milliamp hour battery.
So that's a good size.
Yeah, it actually is a good size, again, pumping out solid voltage, because these motors, these are 3510 590 kV motors, so they're pretty sizable.
And how do these motors compare to, say, the Phantoms?
They're much larger.
They are? Mm-hmm. Okay. What about the Solo? Larger as well?
Much larger,
so good size motors. Of course, again, it is a big drone, so it's going to need some bigger motors.
Yeah,
bigger
and
props.
It does have the bigger props, because this drone really is heavy in itself and able to carry a payload. It's got to have, sizable motors and sizable props. So. Cool.
So this probably is not going to fall under the 4.4, even just like this. Well, certainly not with the... Oh, yeah, definitely not.
You don't think so?
No, denied.
No. Well, maybe, yeah, that seems actually kind of heavy. Maybe we'll see an urban drones come out for the micro UAS rule. I'm so excited about that. I really hope that Congress does pass that bill. The AIR Act is what I'm talking about. Have my hopes up. So I really do, because that would just open so many doors for so many people, which is what it's all about. So if you're wondering where to check out the Urban Drones Splash Drone, you can go to urbandrones.com. Check out the packages they have. Again, this uses your GoPro camera. It has FPV. It has a monitor. It has a really cool remote. And again, just like you said, Rob, I love the color of this thing. I actually like the fact that it's orange.
I really do.
Reminds me of the Coast Guard.
Exactly. Yeah, and obviously there's a reason for that, and I think it works.
In fact, actually, I think if the Coast Guard were to use this, it would be extremely beneficial to them. So
yeah, seriously, they should go put in a big order.
I'm not kidding. Like, this should be on every boat that the Coast Guard owns.
Yeah, a couple of them.
Because really, I mean, if they're trying to get a boat to a person, or if they have approximate location, they're a mile or so out, they can fly this, again, drop a beacon, drop a life preserver, and really save lives. I think this drone will actually save lives.
Right, because again, the dropping mechanism, if I can call it that, I don't know what it's supposed to be called technically, but it has the FPV camera.
The payload release system.
That sounds much better than whatever I said. Anyways, it's got the FPV so you can see exactly where you're dropping it. So yeah, you could be way out.
Yeah.
And be able to see where you're going with it.
I mean,
very cool.
Yeah, I think that's it's great. It's an all around good package through and through. It's a great package. I never had any issues with the compass. The GPS and the IMU calibration are a little bit different than what I was used to, but it was not difficult at all. The light indicator is actually on the inside. That's one of the things I got confused on when I was setting it up. But the light indicator is on the inside, and I would remind everyone, don't forget to put the washers on the motors before you put the props on. That's really important. But they do send you an extra set of props.
Cool.
So overall, I give this one...
thumbs up?
I would give it like 8.7, 8.8 out of 10.
So let's be unbiased here. I mean, we're not biased, obviously, but a couple of things that you'd like to see different about it. Anything?
I would love to see light bridge in this thing. I would love to see a 3-axis gimbal instead of a 2-axis gimbal.
Okay.
But you can still get great shots with it. What else would I like to see?
Indicator lights on the outside. That's a pretty minor thing.
Yeah, well, the thing is that it took me a while to realize that you can see the light from the outside. It's just kind of difficult. It's on the bottom. But overall, I would say... the 3-axis gimbal, maybe a little bit bigger battery if it was possible. But again, this is a pretty sizable battery. It does what it's advertised to do, which in this world is sometimes really difficult to get. And Urban Drones has really done it with the Splash Drone.
Cool. So very few complaints. Lots of thumbs up.
Yep.
Go to urbandrones.com to check it out. People can probably get it on Amazon too, I would think.
I don't know, but we have a link where you guys can check it out. If you want to get it, show your support for the show, use the link. It'll pull up the Urban Drones website, and then that helps us out, and that helps Urban Drones out. And I really think, if you're a family, you're the father of a family, and you live by the water, this is a great tool to have. I mean, it really is, especially
or if you're just on the water a lot, you go to the lake a lot, whatever.
If you like to fly toys, and you like to take pictures, and you don't want to worry about the water, use the Splash Drone.
There you go.
So, Rob, I think that's going to be it for today. Overall, I love the Splash Drone. We're keeping it.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, should we let Alex know? Alex, we're keeping it.
That's going to do it for us today. Actually, I've got some really cool news. We are getting the Life Preserver unit, and we're going to have a whole video on utilizing that unit, saving lives, making a difference, and just...
Yeah, consider this phase 1 of the review because we did not get the Life Preserver unit to begin with, so that's coming, and
there may also be a little prank video coming out. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us today. My name is Paul.
And I'm Rob.
This is Ask Drone U.
We believe that videos, images, words, and sounds have the absolute power to inform, inspire, and entertain. We are united under the virtues of safety and knowledge We are a training community of learners and teachers who encourage and energize each other to achieve greatness. We are pilots, videographers, photographers, freelancers, business owners, enthusiasts, experts, and apprentices. We are creators. We are the Drone Youth.